Hello, everyone. Eric Bird here, and welcome to Creatively Connecting. I'm ridiculously excited here on this Thursday. Today is the first of what will be many collaboration videos that we will have moving forward. I'm blessed to have many amazing people in my tribe, so I'm going to reach out to those extraordinary human beings in my life, bring them to you so they can share their insight, especially during this season. One of the first extraordinary humans that comes to mind is Mr. Ray Amiri. I've known him for the better part of a decade. We've climbed many business mountains together. We've climbed many personal mountains together. I really speak with him multiple times a day. Sometimes it's 3 or 4 times a day, just constantly in connection, pushing each other, helping each other grow. And it's really just been an honor to have him by my side. So we've grown very, very close. I'm also very close with his wife, Nicole, and his amazing little son, Keon. Just can't get enough of that little guy. So just very excited to have him on the show here today. Ray, how are you feeling today on this beautiful Thursday, brother?
Oh man, I'm doing so good. Bert, I'm really excited to be here with you. Obviously, I've been watching all your videos and we've been talking about them. And I'm just fired up to get out here with everyone. Thanks for all that you're doing, not just for me, but for whoever's watching. Things are great, man. Today's a beautiful day. Happy Thursday to everybody. And I've just had an amazing day today and I'm fired up to be here. This is really happening.
We finally did it, bud. We put in the universe, and here we are. So I'm excited to begin the journey as well. Just being again one of my favorite humans on the planet, and knowing that we have a different dynamic right now. I'm the single man downtown right now, and you're in Rancho Bernardo with your amazing wife and child, and I know what we're experiencing is similar yet different. So how has this journey been for you? Partially working from home and just juggling the balance that we have now and just handling some of the stressors that the season has brought.
Well, it's been in with, we'll have a perspective on what's happening and how they've been dealing with the whole situation. It's been great. There's been some challenging parts. Obviously, running around with a toddler all day with Nicole and myself and Kiki just going crazy. There's parts where it's kind of stressful, and then obviously there's the great blessing to be able to spend as much time as I can with him. I think one thing that's really cool is this is giving me a chance to kind of put my focus back on the family. I know that going back a few weeks with work and everything, I just kind of felt like I wasn't maybe as engaged with them for no fault of their own. It's just so many things are happening, especially as we kind of were climbing into the state that we're in and all the conversations we were having. It just kind of made you maybe lose perspective on what's happening at home too. And so it's been nice to kind of turn that back around. But, it's funny, you actually touched on this a little bit earlier on one of your videos, how these uncertain times really heighten people's levels of emotion and their levels of anxiety. And it's funny because I just remember a scenario that took place, a little bit over a week ago, maybe almost 2 weeks ago. We're pretty good at dealing with curveballs coming at us on a daily basis. I mean, gosh, we might have 100 curveballs come, and we got to deflect and really handle it in a professional manner or in a personal manner. But without getting into full details, but really just covering it in terms of context. I remember about 10 days ago or so, some came up where it kind of threw me off for a spin. It kind of caught me by surprise, and obviously my level of emotion was heightened. My anxiety was building with everything that's going around and looking at the family and all the personal stuff and professional stuff. And then this curveball came in, and again, the details aren't important, but the context, it got me, and as much as we are ninjas when it comes to the mental space, 99% of the time that 1% creeped up on me and it got me. And normally when a situation like that comes up, I'm in change your level of elevation, go look at it from a different perspective, raise your elevation and look at it as with a clean, without being as emotional about it, and really dissect how to handle that situation. Unfortunately, in this one situation that came up, I didn't do that. My emotion got the best of me. My anxiety had kicked in. And instead of letting time go and letting the emotions die down, for whatever reason, my anxiety made me want to attack the situation and really want to find a solution for it, which wasn't the right thing to do. It didn't give me a chance to be empathetic. It didn't give me a chance to the understanding, it just made me want to push and attack. And obviously, looking back at it now, I wish I would have handled it differently. But I think the one lesson that taught me is how many more lessons we have to learn in life. I think that was really cool. So in reality, it kind of made me lose control for that moment, just being in an emotional state. And I lost my patience with it a little bit. But really, the thing that bothered me the most about it is it made me act out of character. But what I am grateful for is the fact that, time and space and perspective has changed since then. And I'm looking at that situation and all the different ways I could have handled it, but definitely learned a lesson from it moving forward. And so it was just, again, as much as we think about it and we talk about it, sometimes in real life when it's happening, it really tests you. And at the end of the day, we're all human, and we tend to make mistakes. I think the idea is, as Paulo Coelho, the author of Alchemist, Paulo Coelho says, if you repeat a mistake twice, it's a decision. So it's one of those things where you take that on and you learn from it and grow. So definitely that was an interesting one.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for sharing. And I know, I'm sure all the listeners have had those moments. And for many of us, it's more than 1% of the time to where we may be finding ourselves act out of character. But, I think it's important for all of us to keep in mind that these things are going to happen, right? We are completely in a different environment right now, an environment of uncertainty, and we're going to have those moments of being human. But what I think is admirable about what you did is you acknowledged that. You looked at, okay, this just happened because I'm emotional. And when you have that awareness, then you can change your behavior. So for everyone that's listening, start to really be aware of your behavior, of your actions, so you can correct it, okay? It's okay to be human right now, all right? But let's do our best to make sure that we're growing as a human each day. So that being said, Ray, real quick, and then we'll wrap it up here soon. But that being said, I mean, how have you adapted? I mean, what have you been just more conscious of, and how have you grown in the last 10 days?
Well, and that's a really great question, Bert. I mean, I think at the end of the day, I keep thinking that we are in charge and we get to make every decision on who we want to be during this time, right? So, and we all have different things going on. Like you said, you're downtown, skyrise, different life. I'm here, toddler, wife, and there's people that we know that have multiple kids, and everyone's handling it a lot different. I think for me, it's just really taking a step back. There is a part where we have our responsibility with our coworkers or in that professional space, and then we have our responsibility to our families. And that family could be whether it's your personal family, your mom and dad, or even your extended family, as you always say, your West Coast family. So it's been really nice to be able to slow down a little bit. Obviously, our routines have changed a little bit, but we've done a great job of being able to still keep a daily routine. My morning routine is still the same as it is if nothing was different. I still wake up and go through my same routine. I'm getting my reading in. I'm doing a lot of exercises, but it's those nice things of being able to, in the middle of a day, be able to go for a walk in the neighborhood. We've really been quarantined. We've been at home now. Literally, I think today's the 14th day. But we've made the best of it. We've been cooking. Definitely been really nice to spend a lot more time with Kiki. He's in just such a unique space right now in terms of how he's viewing everything. And it's funny because Nicole and I talked about how we have to adjust living life with him because he's not going to his swim classes and he's not going to his aerobics classes and going to the park. And she's so cool because she brings up the fact that, well, hey, he has to make that adjustment too because now he's stuck at home. So we've been spending a lot of time in the backyard with Ragnar, our dog, and Kiki, and just letting them explore, letting them get dirty, letting them get muddy, and just kind of explore. So, and we're still learning. We're still coming up with ideas on a daily basis on how to do things. We try to stay away from the news as much as we can, but also enough to gather as much information as we need to. But another great thing is, and I'm sure you've been doing the same thing, I've had the opportunity, and we've had the opportunity to really connect with some long lost friends that maybe we haven't talked to as much, whether it's getting on FaceTime. It was really cool the other night. We had a virtual dinner with some friends, and I know we got one coming up tonight with you and our really good friend Zoe. We're going to sit down at 6:30, dinner made, and and we're going to talk and have dinner and have a glass of wine and play some games and just really connect creatively as you're saying. So it's been unique and exciting, and we're still learning through it. But honestly, Bert, to look back at these last 14 days, I'd have to say that we are thriving through it.
Well said, brother. Well said. And hey, guys, you know, Ray and I can talk for hours. We want to make sure that we're just going to give you that simple message today. But just really, one thing that I've noticed from Ray is just that he's creating normalcy. They're creating their morning rituals and just being aware of their feelings each day. And that's one way that you can continue to make sure that you operate as the best version of yourself, is just have that awareness. How do I feel? What do I need right now? You know, and maybe if you're stressed out, it's, you know, it's seeing Keon smile and going playing in the backyard with him. You know, so for all the listeners out there, just be aware of how you're feeling. Do what you need to do to get your train back on the track if it's gotten off, because it's okay if it's gotten off. You're humans, it's gonna happen to all of us. But our goal is just to spend as much time on the track as possible. And one thing Ray's just done beautifully is just embrace the time, make sure he's protecting his mind, just a little bit of news, not too much news, getting out there to enjoy the sunshine when he can, play with Keon, spend some quality time with Nicole, and really just maximizing the opportunity that we have right now. So Ray, just beautiful, beautiful connecting. Thank you so much for making some time for us and all the listeners today. Very much looking forward to the episodes in the future. And in that being said, for those that are tuned in, we are absolutely, of course, open to suggestions, because this is our channel. It's not Ray and my channel. It's everyone that's listening. What do you want to talk about? What's important to you? Because we are open to any topics that all of you want to cover. But that being said, I'd also love to hear, what if some of the human things that have happened to you? What if some of the things that you've done to act out of character? And it's okay to get it out there, because I think a lot of us will be surprised when we see, wow, oh, you did the same thing. I did that as well. I'm not the only one that did that. And it just makes us all feel a little more united and a little more human. And it just gives us that much more confidence to move forward as a community. So that being said, thank you so much once again, Ray. And we are looking forward to connecting with all of you tomorrow. Take care all.